I was cheering for you the whole time and seeing you stand at the end, I could get emotional because it
You don't.
was
You're gonna make me cry.
for the girls, for like it was so incredible to watch. I want to obviously congratulations. Um, you made it to the end. You passed selection. I want to hear your feelings now, watching it back, and the feeling you felt on that day.
Ooh, very different. Very, very different feelings. I sometimes watching the show gives me a little PTSD, and I forget that did the insane things that I did. The episode that comes out tonight, season finale, the fight scene where I'm fighting that red man. I'm like audibly making these grunts and these sounds. Like I honestly tapped into a version of myself that I had no idea was even there. Almost this like instinctual, like animalistic, just like very ferocious woman that I had no idea, was residing within me. So watching the show, I'm kind of brought back to those moments and really honestly very, very proud that I was able to make it to the end, that I passed selection. That was obviously my goal when I went into this. I told my family, my friends that you're not going to hear from me from an X amount of days. If you hear from me any sooner, that means that I failed. And that just really wasn't an option. That wasn't an option. So I'm proud of myself.
I think everyone watching tonight is going to be so insanely proud of you. Someone who is really proud of you that I just spoke to was DSQ.
Oh, cute.
He just raved about your ability to pull yourself back up from failure. Do you think that's something that you've always had, or has that come up from the show? Talk to me about that ability.
Interestingly enough, I think that, life is full of failures. And before this show, if you would have asked me, like, how do you respond to failure? I would have given you just my natural response would have been like, I'm a very emotional person. I probably cry a bit. I struggle with failure. But this show made me realize that, maybe I am capable of handling, hard things or failure better than I ever really imagined. Like, I, I failed a lot on the show. Like, I failed a lot of tasks, and that was tough. But I think the tougher part was like continuing throughout. You know what I mean? Like, I could have easily gone home day one, two, three, four, five, but I chose to stay, and I was really proud about that.
It's all in that mindset, isn't it? Like, you know,
Absolutely.
one thing I thought was so interesting is that the athletes that were a
Right.
part of the show, they're
Right.
gone.
Right.
They were not there at the end. It was you and it was Brody. I mean, Brody's an athlete, he's a surfer, but he's no
Yeah.
Cam Newton.
Yeah, I know. And that's the thing too, though. You think going into this that it's going to be like the physical challenges that are going to be the hardest, but I really think that it was, the mental aspect of it and the limitations that we put on our minds. Like that's what it really exposed to me, that my mind is so much stronger than I could have ever imagined.
Definitely. And I think one of the most impressive challenges you brought it up when you were fighting that red man, um, that you had to use someone like to fuel your anger and things like
Yeah.
that. How did you feel doing that emotionally to take out, like you said, you didn't even know that person was inside of you? I think that's something that all women kind of feel. Like we're not allowed to be angry. We're not allowed to show our emotions. It shows weakness. But having a chance and being pushed to take it all out, like how did that feel?
In a lot of ways, I think it was really cathartic. Like, there's like this healing aspect of it. They tell you before you do that task to kind of envision this person either threatening your life or, a loved one's. And for me, I was envisioning that they were trying to harm my sisters very specifically. And I don't know if they show it in the episode, but I threw up after that task. Like it was like an emotional, yeah, like that was really heavy for me, actually. Like I once we got back in the car, I was like, okay, I can't do anything else. Like they have broken me down to my core. Like I get it. I'm tough. I'm strong. I'll whoop somebody's ass, but like I am tired. So it was a very cathartic experience. I didn't know that person, was within me, that I was capable of being that angry, or even if I had that much, rage built up inside of me. But I'm thankful for it because now I know that in the event that I do have to defend myself, the crazy lady's in there. And I would advise everyone to not try me, you know?
Do not get on Kayla's bad side.
Please don't. Please.
What I really admired, though, watching this whole series was how open and how vulnerable you were on the show. So emotional. You know, That letter, the letter writing would have been like, oh my gosh, writing those letters that's a whole area that you don't even want to like go down. But you guys had to do that. And you spoke about going through a public breakup and the headlines. Do you feel like Special Forces helped you kind of clear your head and move on from that chapter of your life?
Absolutely. I wish people knew that, the show was filmed almost like a year ago now. So the place that I was then and the place that I am now, thankfully, two very different people. And I think also just experiencing the show, making it to the end, passing selection. I'm proud of it because I think that a lot of my success is attributed to who I'm in close proximity to, which is very, typical of, being a woman in a male-dominated industry. Like that happens, that comes with the territory. I get it, but this success is mine.
So
You know what I mean? Like nobody can take that from me, and I'm really proud of that.
the letter that you wrote, I found it really probably spoke to a lot of women out there when you kind of opened that you hoped it was to someone special, to a partner, to a husband. Are you dating right now? Is there someone in your life that the letter can now be, well, hopefully you never have to write that letter again, but that it can
Right.
now be addressed to?
Right. No, I would still be addressing it to my family. And I think they cut off the letter too. Unfortunately, like everything can't make it into the show. They only have 2 hours, but the entirety of my letter was basically just thanking my mom, thanking my sisters, thanking my grandparents for bringing so much fullness into my life. And even though I'm not married and I don't have kids, like I still feel so loved. And I'm so deeply thankful
Us.
for that. And I think that really it's an important message, like you said, for women to hear, because we're always told, like, especially at my very grown age of 33, that we're supposed to have kids. You're supposed to have a husband by now, but I am a living testament that it is okay if you don't. I'm so happy and so content and so proud of the life that I've created by myself. And until that day comes, like I'm gonna stand on that hill. Like I love my family so deeply. I feel so loved and really so seen at this place in my life. So I'm happy.
Trolls are something else. Social media
Mm.
is something else. You spoke about it on the show. Is there something in the like kind of that you want to kind of say stuff you to the trolls? Is it that show? Is it, kind of speaking out about like what happened? What do you want to say to those trolls?
Oof. So what I've also learned about this show is there's really two sides of me. Because like one side of me wants to literally say, like screw you, get a life, you're a weirdo. But the other side of me, the more evolved side of me, wants to send those people love. I want to send them so much love. Like if you're a troll today, I want you to know that I love you. I care about you. Life's worth living. And maybe today do something positive with your time. Like go stand in front of the mirror and say something positive to yourself and get off the internet. That's what I want to say.
Another beautiful friendship, you and Brody. I love it. I feel like two unlikely people becoming like besties. What
Yes, I
surprised you
love
about
Brody.
Brody?
Fully transparent. Brody is a gorgeous man. I mean, we were like slumming it. And it's like every day Brody wakes up and I'm like, okay, Ken doll in here. Like him and Carrie Hart, like their hair never moved. I went into this experience with braids and I left with dreadlocks. They looked gorgeous till the end. It's really not fair.
I love that my question was, what surprised you about Brody? And it's how good looking he was. It's like, that's not a surprise, babe.
I know,
That's in
but
front
like
of us.
in person, it was just kind of like, wow, But shout out to Brody, his fiance, his beautiful baby. Like that's a gorgeous family over there. The genes are
Cheers.
genes.
Are you guys still in touch? You said it was a year ago, so you still keep in touch? You're
Yeah.
still friends?
Yeah, we're all the whole crew. We're all friends on social media. We have a group chat going. Brody's actually got to hang out with a lot of the DS and the staff lately, which we've all been jealous about. Like he's been hanging out, going to dinners and stuff. So I told him, I'm like, hit me up next time. Like I want to hang with staff too, have a drink.
What was the toughest part about being on the show, do you think?
Oh my goodness. You know, you would think that because there's cameras around, this is like a Fox TV production, there was going to be like breaks or, crafty or I don't know, anything, but it's so raw and real. They really try to give you this authentic experience. And so I think maybe not being able to, shower alone, having to always have a partner, even using the restroom was really challenging for me. I'm not a girly that likes to do number two in front of people. So it's like that was definitely a challenge for me. I also think not being able to talk to your family or your friends. Like in life, my go-to is to call my mom. At the first inconvenience, I'm calling my mother. So to have to go through this whole experience without any contact to the outside world was really challenging too.
Which celebrity do you want to see on Special Forces next?
Yeah, I have a few. I said Brandon Marshall, who was my co-host on I'm Athlete Daily. He would be really good. Former football player, similar to Cam Newton, physique and all, like really tall, strong guy. But I think the mental part, it would be really interesting to watch Brandon on the show. And then also
Yeah.
Angel Reese, WNBA basketball player. It would be tough for her to slim it like that, and I would like to see it.
It's just like, I've been through it now. Everyone has to go through it.
Yeah. Yes.
Kayla, it has been such a pleasure to talk to you. You are so lovely inside and out, and I really appreciate your time. And for the 10th time, congratulations.
Thank you. I really appreciate it. Thank you.